Uh, I can't make this joke because we're live now.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'll make it after the show. It's just someone said don't support women, invest in them, and I was like, they're for sale.
Stop.
I'm sorry, I can't help myself. It's a friend, so I'm not going to do it though because I troll too many of her posts already.
Oh, I can see your messages, CVO, to this.
What's
the help
that?
messages you've put.
What's
What?
that?
The help messages you've put. Is that you?
No, I had it too. I just got rid of it. I didn't read them. What does it say?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it was for a green screen
screen.
thing. There's some issue. Yeah.
Oh, the other day in your stream, I seen it. It kept like doing some weird shaky thing. It looked like you were part of Anonymous, mate. Shady
Yeah.
and cool.
I'm an on.
I'll close it.
You're a non?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that like being in the closet, or what's that like?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good for you. What a drop that would be. Fuck, that's nasty. I don't think it will, but we'll see.
23K.
Fucking, why stop there? Let's just go straight down to 6K. That seems to be what people do when we get to this area chart. So
XRP Shillbilly's back.
I mean, you do have that
DJ
CME gap down at 3K that we never filled.
that was like the running joke for the longest time for me. And people were like, "Do you have any targets?" Or like, "When should I buy?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm telling you, there's a gap at 3K that if it ever gets
Mate,
filled."
Every time in the Discord we were dropping, we were saying 3K.
Yeah,
every time.
Every single time. Yeah, that was the good old days. I'm sure people did not appreciate it.
No, mate, no one did. Especially, no one appreciated it when you changed your profile picture from Danny McBride to Elon Musk. Everyone hated you for it, and you kept saying 3K, and it really annoyed me. I told you, mate. I told you. I really hated you for about a month.
That was one of the best. Those were like, dude, I'm telling you, all you had to do was just copy my analysis, and you would have been fine. Or just look at my Twitter. I was literally.
It annoyed me even more because you're just going off every day, and I was like,
those were the days, though, man. I was like,
guys.
I was learning about Photoshop, so I was literally making charts with price targets to $32,000 and $30,000, and then putting up the base model price of a Tesla and putting Elon Musk's picture on the chart and then posting it to Twitter, and people hated it. And then Bitcoin dropped to 30K, and everybody got pissed.
Yeah, it was honestly that whole time frame. I swear, you really wound me up.
Well, it took a month to get down there. Had Bitcoin just done what it was supposed to and just went down there and quickly, that would have been a problem. I mean, once it got underway, it's pretty quick, but
it was funny time period, to be fair.
Yeah. I didn't really have anything else going on. I think I was I making content at the time? I don't think I was.
Nah, I don't think you were.
I think I was just going ham sandwich on the trolling at that point.
On Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, Twitter was fun. I lost like 100 subscribers when that happened. Like 100 people.
I remember people in the Discord getting so annoyed with you for changing the picture to Elon Musk. Even me, mate. I just wanted Danny back, but
Danny is a legend. He's the he's the true CEO. Maybe I'll bring him back when we go bullish again. We break out.
You should put him in your banner on YouTube.
I'll have someone make me a Danny McBride Magic Internet Money blend.
Half and half.
Yeah, and it'll be great.
And then there's Elon one for when the market's going down.
What alert just went off there for you, Max? I heard it.
The VWAP.
Couple dollars.
Do you just have it set to the VWAP every time? Anytime it touches the VWAP, you get an alert. That's actually not a bad idea. That's a pretty good idea, actually. I will give you that.
VWAP, daily open, previous day high, previous day low, weekly open, my EMA. What else do I have?
How do you have it set so that do you just have to manually set the previous day data every day?
No. So I've got a
like a script
indicator that marks the previous day high, the previous day low, the daily open, the previous day equilibrium.
Nice.
The weekly open, the daily high, the daily low, the weekly high, the weekly low, monthly open.
I've seen some of them, but it's just I don't like all that stuff on my chart because my chart gets kind of dirty anyway here lately. I've got so much stuff going on in it. And
Wow.
now that we're doing the time series, I've got so many fucking forks and fans going on right now because of it.
You can't have a
I
dirty
run
chart,
3
man.
charts. I run a 15-minute one, which has that on, which has all them levels. And then I run an hourly chart, which is like always up on my screen, which I have
That's
all
the high
like
time
daily
frame for
levels.
you.
That's a
high
high
time
time
frame.
frame for me, mate. Yeah. So I'm always watching the hourly now. And then I have a really clean chart, which I always copy and paste my analysis to if it's getting posted in the group. Otherwise, yeah, it would be a mess. But because of how I've got it set up for me to clean, and there's the daily open and PVO. And that's another PVO.
Oh man, look at Sheik bringing in the rain with the ape there. There you go. Nice.
Is that linked to
Shenanigans.
is that linked to the NFT stuff?
I don't really know what ApeCoin does. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not good at knowing. Maybe I should look it up and do like something on it, but I don't. You know me. I don't look at the fundamentals. So when people ask me to look at this chart, I'm like, well, I don't really know anything about the project, and there's not much information. So you're just buying into the hype. But from what I've seen, people are pretty high on it, or they really just think it's going to the dumpster. So there is no in between on Ape.
Dude, it was a pretty nice, clear, clear range here.
We have a double bottom there on the right hand side. You got the high or low. Like you could almost make that into like any kind of a triangle or whatever. I mean,
All I was looking at was this. I was anticipating it still may come up to this 30, but I don't know. Might be donezo now. That's the daily close yesterday. That huge wick.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't buy up here. But I say that, and there's really no price history to go off of. It could just keep going.
Yeah, true.
I have no clue. I've not even looked at it once. This is the most I've looked at the ApeCoin chart since it's been out. Is that picture right there? So
yeah,
it doesn't look
nice
like
picture.
that bad, really. Like, do you know how most coins start? It's just a huge sell-off. It actually doesn't look too bad.
I didn't realize that it was even around long enough to have that many days on the chart.
Yeah, it was March 19th was the first day.
Maybe I'll start charting it. Maybe we'll start tracking it, guys. We'll trade ApeCoin better than everyone in the fucking space. How about that? We'll make ApeCoin a segment. ApeCoin Wednesdays or Fridays. Go Ape. Or no, we'll say go bananas. You guys like that? Yeah?
Banana hammock Wednesdays.
No. Nobody wants to see that. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. There's probably a few. Where's Isaac at? Is he in here?
Oh god.
It's too early for us. He'll watch this back later and be laughing.
Yeah, he will be. Hopefully he's doing well. I feel bad he misses a lot of these because of the time thing. What country is he in?
He's in the UK, mate.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. Go bananas with LC. There you go. What's up, Chris? I hope you're doing well, man. Let's dive in. Do you want to hop on first, CB, or do you want me to? How do you?
No, you can. I just was throwing up a chart to just kind of have
All right.
look at while we were just BSing.
Is ApeCoin on? Was that the Bybit chart that you had?
Yeah.
You guys want? Let's look at Ape first thing. How about that? Let me get my. Yeah, no, we're gonna look at ApeCoin first.
We can take a look at GMT also. That's the other one on there.
I'll leave that one to you afterwards, but we'll look at if you want to give me the control real quick here, I'll share my screen and we'll look at ApeCoin and then we'll look at GMT and then Bitcoin, guys. I bet it's riding off board Ape. It is Hog Club. I don't even know what that is, but all right. So ApeCoin, let's take a look. It got launched on Bybit like right away. And so this is actually, it's attractive to me only because it's available on Bybit. I'll be upfront with you guys. I will not go make an account on another exchange to trade this. Very cool. All right. So let's have a go at ApeCoin.
Oh, yeah, I've just Googled it. It is linked to the Bored Ape Yacht Club stuff.
I knew it kind of was, but I was just kind of curious, you know.
That's probably how they've got onto Bybit and like so many other exchanges so quickly because it's, so famous and hot right now, isn't it?
Yeah. But some people say it has utility. I don't really know that it does or doesn't.
Let me have a browse.
About the utility? You browse away.
I love when Max has a browse.
That's probably one of my favorite ways to use that word. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's have a browse.
How else do you use that word?
No. That's
perfect, man.
appropriate.
That's the best way to use it. It's just
we use it to turn off salespeople. We say things like, "I'm just browsing. Please leave me alone."
Oh yeah, no. I use it that way too.
I'm just browsing.
That's how we do it. Yeah, you got some interesting stuff going on here. Do. Go back to the monthly real quick here. None of those opens matter. Where's the weekly of that? Yeah, this is not got a lot of history on it, but that's okay. And there's one level right here. Okay.
They've released the allocation. Isn't that? Do all like shitcoins do that, where they tell you how much the founders are actually going to get and what all the money's actually going towards?
I don't know that they all do that, but it's cool that they did. A lot of them don't actually do stuff like that.
Only 8% is going to the founders, and they're doing 16% to some company called Yuga Labs and charity. 14% to contributors, and then 62% is staying in the ecosystem fund. Quite interesting.
If I was looking for an entry, just looking at this is where I'd like to get involved. Right here. That's your weekly open. You had cleared this previous high before the sell-off, the initial pump. You can see it was resistance, support. If you come back to it, you've got a level here as well on the daily at 1807. So anywhere between 1807 and 1678, you got like a little $1.20 window there that you could play with these levels in between 1807, 1754, and 1678. That is where I would be looking at just from looking at the chart on this one. If it gets down there, obviously I don't know how hard this thing's going to run, but if I was looking for a place to scalp a trade or take profits if I was short, for instance, here, anything above the daily open, and you'd have to look at the data from this wick and see where you're going back to. What's the data? 23,722. Let's move this over.
It's not on Exo charts yet.
It probably isn't. It's on ATAS though. I was just looking at it on here.
Well, thank you for that. Just rub it in my face.
Well, you know how to get on AT. What the fuck is going on? Oh, we're on the 5 minute. Let's go to the daily. Let's see if it's got all the data.
It's crazy volatile.
Well, I mean, it's new. I can't imagine the market cap's all that big. Yeah, you ain't got shit for data on here, but yeah, and that supports what I was thinking. Really, 1833 down to 1660. Go back to here. What we're looking at, 1807 to 1678. Yeah, this is like the little box I'd be interested in. Anything above here, let's just mark this off. And we'll just go down to like a 15 minute. And you see your daily open here. Yeah. Anything above the daily open, you're looking at 24.26 and then probably $25. If you can claim $25 again, it looks like you could challenge into this high, try to make a new one. But more than likely, looking at this could be a decent spot to be looking for entry. Yeah, it's your point of control here. Yeah, somewhere between $18 and $18.50 probably, give or take. That's what I'd be looking at for anyone that's messing around with this highly speculative, esteemed shit coin that I'm sure is very altruistic and going to fulfill all of your guys' wildest dreams and make you all rich. No condescension whatsoever. Yeah. This box is just where I'd want to be at. All the way down to 16, that little like $1 or $2 window. anything below that, and you got fucking problems. You're probably coming back if you lose $16, you're probably coming all the way down to 14, and then maybe even lower. I would suspect the $12 region would be on table, but this should be support until then, and that'd be the place I'd be looking to if I was looking to toy around with this. You may have a bounce area in between, but that's neither here nor there. Let's see what else we've got here. Hang on. What is this? There we go. It does show that it has a single print down at the $19 range, and normally that's where they complete. I don't know where this one begins. I don't have.
Just look on the left. Isn't it that green box? So you can see from the green candle.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. So
it starts there.
Yeah, it's on it right now. So this should be coming down, guys. We should be seeing the $20.50 to $19.29 region first. Anything below that, and you're looking at those $18 targets down in this region. So
I mean, you're looking at it on a daily candle. Is that go to a 30-minute and have a look what we got?
So a lot of times when I go to a 30-minute, well, I guess it doesn't matter because I'm using a fixed pull on this one rather than a subjective one. So
is that still a single print there or not?
It does go away. Yeah, you have one all the way down here now. It's a very small one that comes in around 1344. So if you guys lose this like that $18 region, obviously the point of control is 1660, which again, that is right here in your box. So that's your weekly open if you just wanted to keep it simple. Lose the weekly open, and you're probably going to fulfill that single print we just talked about and come all the way down to probably I would say $12. If you flip $16, you're going down to 12. So it's a pretty quick stair step, 20 to 16 to 12. But I wouldn't be buying here, as I mentioned. You can see right here, it's getting underway. There's not much here. So interesting. Although, look at this. Look at your open interest just dumping off a cliff all the way up to the high here. Delta. Yeah.
They held it about a month before they started to take profits.
Yep. There it is. All right. Well, if you're long on ApeCoin and you longed up here, I'm sorry if you bought in up there, but it might come back. You never know. It's not anything I'd worry about, but I wouldn't touch it right now.
CVO, if you want shorting the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, Rivalry's fucking. Can he even get a position filled on that? Like, that's my question. Is like, can he even get positions filled?
He markets in, doesn't he? Markets in, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. That's my thing. I mean, you got to wonder about the slippage on something like that.
Yeah, but if
there he is.
What is it?
We were just talking about your Rivalry. We were talking about shorting ApeCoin. We were like, it's actually a good short. There's a single print that it's about to find its way into and roll back to the maybe the 18s. He goes, yes, market. Yeah, I didn't know if you could get in on that thing. I was looking at position size wise. I was like, can he get in there? So, but if you want to go over GMT, go for it before we go over Bitcoin. We normally do the Bitcoin thing first.
We can just go to Bitcoin. I can cover this when we go to altcoins later on.
Yeah,
it's really nothing.
That's some shorts piling at the daily open.
About the same as ApeCoin, honestly.
Give me just a second here. I'm gonna grab a quick water, and I'll be right back.
If we start to push a little higher here, claim this little high, maybe 39k, 900. There's going to be some shorts underwater. That is for sure. We've just had 8 million shorts right into the daily open. Always short support.
I said water, but it's really it's actually a C4 because I'll go work out. What did you say it was?
Crawfish juice.
Crawfish juice. Yeah, he's making fun of me because I use crawfish meat, like crawfish tail meat, and make a pasta with it. All right, so we'll look at Bitcoin. I didn't even look at that I looked at it on my YouTube one instead of the shitcoin chart. Man. BTC. Come on. Yeah, so Bitcoin, very, very simple chart, very easy to read chart. These have been the levels that we've been on about both publicly and in the group a little bit. 38K and 37.7, right? Those have been the levels that we've been talking about for a while. When are we going to get there? And if you guys were following along if you're not in the group and you were following along on the public channel, I did hand that one. I'm not gonna lie, that one was handed to you guys. That if we got up above this region of the chart right here, we're going to have like a 4-hour and fail, that one would assume we'd come all the way back down to the support and cycle this entire little like mini range. And that's exactly what happened last week. We had the previous week low and we marked that off, take the low, and then up you go. And right now what you're doing is coming back into really high time frame resistance here at 40.3K. So this has been kind of a zone for us here, this little area on the chart, because it is a high time frame average at 39,722. This is the area that really needs to get flipped if Bitcoin's going to do anything. It needs to hang on to this region of the chart and then move above and get back into this point of control region. I would give it a little bit of leeway up here. I'm also viewing this as a zone. I could say that this is a zone. If I had to pick one level that was most important, it would be 40.3K. So if somebody wanted to clean the chart up a little bit, you could just say, I'm only interested in 40.3K, and that would be perfectly acceptable. Coming into that region, that was somewhere we were looking for today. And same with last night. So in the update, I don't know if you guys see it in my updates section. I've been trying to keep them pretty short and sweet. It's about a paragraph long, and there's 3 charts. And the main thing was that we were looking at this. This was the monthly, right? So we're looking for April to do its thing. We know that once we get a bounce underway, where are we looking to head to? Well, we're looking at high time frame resistance. We're looking at our POC, right? And if you zoom out even more and you start looking at this in terms of just the overall high time frames, this was mentioned in the update, is you now have a really nice B-shaped range, meaning that if this is being held as support here at $39,000, give or take, assuming we can get back above certain levels on the chart, the move up into this point of control can be had because it is a high volume node here inside the larger range, right? So that's what we'd be targeting. And that's why this would be such an important area to flip, because you can see that once you're above this, there's really nothing between this. I wouldn't say nothing, but the pathway to the highs of the range are a little bit more, clear at that point. And that's how you stair step it up there. So coming into last night, looking at this, knowing that, I turned on all of them, knowing that this was in place, you could have very easily just put this here, and then you can even turn this off now, and you could just say, okay, well, I know that we need to be holding this level as support if we get above it, and you can see that, well, it's about what we did. Once you get back above it right here, you came back and you back tested it, and then you got your move up into the region. So if we come down, you want to see this holding as support. If you had to pick out a more well-defined area for that, one could come to the chart and start saying, well, I like this right here. This is a really nice consolidation that was support for a very long time at 39,434. Or you could say this level here at 39,511. It doesn't really matter as long as you've picked out something that you can work your invalidation off of, because coming down to this region and losing this support area and then coming back to the lows of the range, it's not the most attractive thing in the world just from looking at it. So you do have to keep that in mind. So this was a nice short for anyone that got in on it. For anyone that was trading this the way I trade these things, this was a really just wonderful, wonderful trade. You can see we're coming back into the fork. This thing has just absolutely crushed it. And obviously, there's other ones that you could pull, but that series should be coming out this week. I've been messing around with it more and more to make sure that it's the way it should be. So you guys should be happy with that. But the levels are really well respected. Technically, we didn't hit the level we were looking for. We got very close. We were in like $42. I think 40,414 was the level that we were all looking for. I kind of just box it off. You know me, I like to put everything as like a little mini zone. And they're not normally too big. This one was with 39.7 to 40.3K though. But that level is here, right here, right? And you can see we came up just short of it, but so it is still technically available. Now, when we came up above this level and we took these highs, once you lose 40.3K, obviously 39,722 was the other level that was given. So that's the level you wanted on your chart. and you really wanted to see price live above this so they could re-challenge into this region. But it was early in the morning. I think it was early, but it was a New York session, and Max was up and trading as he always is during the New York session, because it's just a really nice session to trade. And it's convenient for him. And he had made the call on this one as well about the daily open at the time. This would technically be the daily open for that day, because that is a daily level right here. So you have your daily open that we've got marked off here. And so when we go down into it, what you'll notice is he had made the call properly that if we lose this level, there'd be quite a few longs underneath water, and that it could really push. And at the time, we had a previous range that was available to us, I believe. And that would start like right here. And what you can see is that you had closed outside of it. And so losing these areas of support, losing the daily open, getting back into this range told us that we would be looking to cycle all the way back to the lows of the prior day and session and possibly take them into this high time frame support, which, this is a really nice trade. You have to take your profits, obviously. We always talk about that. But, I mean, this is a really, really nice trade. 7%, that's a hell of a day trade, or even a 2-day swing with no leverage. That's fantastic if you like volatility. This initial rejection was fantastic, 3.3%. If you look at the one that we're getting now, if we start losing, again, key levels here, well, we're looking down. So it is one of those things where very interesting. And then over here on this chart, I just have a few things marked out, really. It just basically NPOCs, that are available to us to the downside. I'm just looking at the sessions. I don't have any of the dailies on here or higher time frame ones, because that's not what this chart is for. But this is where I scalp most of the time, and I just pull regressions for the day. This is obviously something that we do, and trade the channel basically along the lows, acceptance of it, short the highs. Very, very simple. I don't think
Are you looking at yesterday's regression trend or the previous days?
That is the previous day technically, and this is the previous day. This is the fork that's in my video that I created. And just so you guys know, like when I do those, they are created in advance. Like that thing was posted about right here in the group, and then it just runs its course. Catches everything from the highs to the bounces off the EQ to the low, back to the high. And so you're not really trying to use this to catch the exact top a lot of times, but what you are using it as is a gauge that, like, okay, I'm at 40K. I should be looking for profits above this area, because technically this should be above one standard deviation of trend. So I should be looking at this as, okay, I'm coming into resistance. I'm outside of trend. I should be looking for other things in the order flow to tell me, is this a good time to either lock in profits or open a short, right? And so you had a really nice SFP up here, took the highs, down she goes. You're now getting up the EQ right here, which is always a major target for me. And so you're looking down to the next 50% level, just a halfway point as a gauge. And there's your New York session point of control. So very simple trading style, but does require you to be somewhat proactive with your chart, organized, and obviously you got to learn order flow. Like that's it. This thing will tell you where all the important areas are once you learn how to do it. It's just that's the easy part. I mean, everybody can kind of figure out the important areas on the chart. That's why a lot of these guys that do analysis on like TikTok or YouTube, like analysis isn't hard. Trading is very hard. That's why so few people are able to do it long term. So that's really all I've got, Max. If you want to go into the order flow a little bit,
let's do it.
Because I know that you had a few spots you wanted to talk about.
Right, so I thought we'd start up here. I know for the members that have already seen this in the exclusive members stream, but we'll just go over it for everyone else. So this was the daily open when we were up at 40K a couple of days ago before the drop. And as you can see here, we had about in the region of just over 20 million, longs come in at market. So we can clearly see them on the chart. And the whole day we are getting big wick rejections, which, it's always a signal that there's a lot of selling pressure in the highs. And then as soon as you come down and, you lose that daily open, because it was such a key level. Look, we bounced off it. And again, we failed to make, a higher high. And again, a big wick, which shows selling pressure, and there was a lot of trapped longs in this wick here, in this wick here. If we have a look, you can see 900k, 900k, another 800k there, 1.2 there. A lot of trapped traders up here. You've got 1 million buys there, and they were immediately put underwater, and they were never given a good exit point, especially not where they could take profits. So immediately put underwater. And then as soon as we lost the daily open, all these traders here that, they wouldn't really have had a significant area to take profits in. So they would have been put underwater too. And they were really punished for, entering at the top of a range. This is why you don't buy high. This is why you should be selling here. Like the people in these wicks that are taking these buy orders, because on the other side of a market order, there is a limit order. So these people are all market buying, and on the other side of that, there is someone selling, but they are hidden on the footprint charts. But you have to always know that they're there. So yes, they were taking positions at shorts that the market makers were, as retail were buying up here, thinking we're going to 44k, 45k, and so on, and immediately punished. And then down here, quite an interesting story. It's the flip side of so many shorts opening up down here. If we look at it on a wider viewpoint, the whole move was actually very strong. If you look at the downtrend, you're on increasing open interest. So that means that there's a lot of positions entering into the market here, a lot of shorts specifically pushing the market down. And at the bottom here, you've got a few candles where you've got a crazy amount of shorts entering down here. Let me just have a browse, see if I can find them. So in this candle here, open interest is somewhat flat. You've got a large amount of shorts entering at market. In this one here, you've got 6 million, 18 million, so many positions opening up down here. I mean, why would you be shorting at the lows? They were probably thinking, we're heading down to low 30s. But again, the market maker would have spotted this, because this is what they trade. They use the footprint chart to, see what traders are doing, where they're entering, and they probably have, they will have tools that enable them to see, for the leverage traders that are opening huge positions down here, they can see, okay, we need to pump the market to this level to knock out the 100x traders, then to this level to knock the 50x, 25x. That's how they work. They chase the liquidity. They push the market into areas where people that entered stupid trades, they're not allowed to get out of their position. They're forced to get out at a loss. That's how the market makers work. That's how liquidity works. And the market maker is always seeking it. And it's using the footprint chart that enables us to, see it. If we pop on the rect, this is people that have been liquidated. You can see these huge red bubbles here are longs that were liquidated, most likely from up here. You can see on the drop, you actually don't get many liquidations until you get to the bottom, when that's what they're looking for. They're looking to force people out of longs so that the market maker can, fill his bag, to which they then turn the market around to wreck the shorts that have entered at the bottom. It's crazy how this market works, but time and time again, people are handing the money over the counter. And yeah, yesterday the volatility is back, and it's great for everyone that's trading it. Yes, we're not doing any huge moves where we're claiming any big levels, but for the traders, this is what you want to see. It's, yesterday we bounced from the previous day equilibrium and the point of control. The previous day VWAP close was there, and Magic also had one of his faults. It was delightful. It was so good to see, and huge bounce from that level. It's been amazing to trade. It's been very fun for everyone that's been in the group and been witnessing. The big thing this week for me has been looking for trapped traders. It's really been the way that I've earned my money in my trading. Seeing people come down. Let's have a look. Where just before this move, we have like people coming in and shorting right into the VWAP, and it's just been straight money. As soon as you can witness, people entering stupid positions, you're just able to counter trade them. And yeah, it's been lush. It really has been lush. I don't remember where it was. Yeah, people shorting just below the VWAP here, immediately put underwater, back tested the VWAP once you've claimed it. Easy trade up. You can take profit to the weekly open. That's a few $100s away. Always secure your profits. Lush trading. And then, here where we are, we've actually had a load of shorts enter at the daily open. You've got 8 million there. Over here, you've got 5 million, 4 million in that little block there. So 9 million there. If you start to claim some of the levels now, if we start to, maybe bounce from the previous day point of control, claim the VWAP, which is actually bugged on my chart, and then maybe the previous day value area high, those shorts that have entered here, where their stop loss is going to be. If they're putting the stop loss using market structure as one should, chances are they're just above this level. So that'd be the target for the market maker. If he wanted to push higher, he might try and go lower to try and draw in some more shorts. Trading right now is crazy support. People seem to be shorting, which is like stupid. But anyway, besides the point, start to push up here. We're going to put some shorts underwater. And this is why I absolutely love trading the footprint chart, because you can see what the retail are doing and then, trade against them. And it has been straight money this past, well, forever, but this past week, it's been very easy to spot. And that daily, this one was I moved it. This one was a great short. Honestly, it really was. It was so simple trading. And if you're in the group, if you're in the members section, we called it out, and it was so easy to trade, because as soon as you lost that level, as soon as you lost that level on increasing open interest down here, as you can see, a lot of shorts piling in. Some longs did try and come in here to try and hold the position up. Immediately wrecked. What else do you need when you've got the team in the group saying if you lose this level, it's going to be key. You've lost the VWAP, back tested the VWAP here, flown through the daily open like it's not even there. You could enter anywhere here, anywhere, put your stop loss above the high, and it's so easy. It's literally been so easy. Once you can read the footprint charts, it's just been very, very easy trading. I must admit, this past few days, and it's been lush that we've had the volume and the the volatility that we've got. It's been like a breath of fresh air, because recently it's been so slow. But yeah, absolutely in love with the chart right now. Easy trading. And everyone in the group has spotted it. We're trying to get all the members to get involved on spotting trapped traders. It's been a bit of fun. So yeah, CVO, are you there?
Yeah, man, I'm here. What do you look at all that? What's that coming in at the bottom there? 12 million and 11, is that?
Yeah, mate. So we've got literally so this is the daily open here, taken from. So the daily open came in at this candle. You've tried to test it here. You've had 5.5 million market shorts. You actually had about 10 million shorts straight into the daily open. Yes, it's still early on in the day, so it's not like a huge support, but a lot of shorts entering in this candle here. A lot of shorts entering in this candle here. If you start to, the VWAP's here, claim the VWAP, the positions are already underwater, claim the previous day value area high, they're going to be sweating. And then, where do we go from there? Well, their stop losses, if they are smart, will be up here. So if we start to push higher, that's what you want to see. And that's the thing when you're trading this chart, if you can identify, okay, these are where the shorts have come in, they are in control for now. It must be said, they are in control. So if more comes in, they have, by all means, could push the market lower. But the beauty of this chart is you can spot, okay, they're here. When we start to, put pressure on them, you can kind of guess the levels that, they're going to be panicking, maybe starting to close their positions. And that's when you can really, that's how you identify a short squeeze and in advance. A lot of people like to call out short squeezes like, oh yeah, we're going to initiate a short squeeze. Well, this is how you actually do it. This is how you actually see a short squeeze, potentially occurring. And it's by looking at it that way. Okay, if we take this high or this high, that's when the liquidations or stop losses will be hit. That's how you really do it. And it's great fun to do so. Because when you call it and answer it occurs, it's just like, Oh yes. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah, when you bust out that meme, man, I know you mean business.
You have to wait with
Yeah,
that meme.
yeah. No,
Are you talking about the yelling? You talking about the yelling woman meme with Kate Hudson?
Mate, how can you go for a walk and then come back and just say random stuff?
Yeah. I didn't
Oh,
go
you
for a walk.
want-
I had to go get the dogs. Man, they were out back, out there causing a ruckus, dude.
A ruckus.
Baloo
No,
and,
what about the
Krypto,
short
man.
squeeze meme? Because we're talking about the shorts that have just.
I know, and
entered
I'm asking about the meme, man. The meme.
I'll
Yeah.
get the meme up.
Get the meme up. You get the meme up. That's the most important part. We can't have that happen until the meme is up.
Oh, if he doesn't post that meme, the short squeeze does not happen, right? We were looking for it the other day. It didn't happen. There was no meme. You know, that's all you need to. That's the only analysis you really need is if Max puts up this meme,
trade the memes.
You just got to trade the memes. Yeah, sometimes.
That's the intro to all my videos. This is the only Bitcoin analysis you need. You tell me that he can replace me with a meme.
Easily.
Easily replaced. Thank you.
What's funny is that this meme I feel like is Max.
That is legit how I sit at my computer. If I've called it out in the group and then that happens.
Dude, I literally I picture that to you, man, for sure. Like with some glasses on, drinking a coffee.
They do make me feel good. If I'm posting my stuff in the general public area, like that I've pulled it with that smoking gun that I did the other day, that's when you know I'm like in love with my trading analysis.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. All right, CBO, you're up, man. I assume.
Yeah.
Take off the OnlyFans. Yeah, I don't have too much at the moment. As far as anybody that's in the group, we went over a good amount of this last night as well, and things really haven't changed quite yet. So, I mean, it's still kind of just like a little bit of a waiting game. Definitely big major. I got Jasmine pulled up here just because somebody was mentioning it over here. So, Jasmine obviously had a nice little run up here, re-entered the range. We were targeting the point of control, came back down to this around Easter weekend. A little run up since then. I think this is a monthly pivot right here. I don't know why I didn't have it marked. Right here. So that monthly pivot came into play right here. So that one is where we got that rejection. And right now we're basically chilling on this smaller time frame, just right at like the 786. Regardless, coming back down to the point of control would be like your next major support basically if we don't hold right here in this area. Otherwise, you got the range low, and that would be, under the implication here of the market in general, just kind of get another little leg down. But as far as upside, right, you're definitely in a position where as long as this point of control is held, we're looking back up to this monthly open here. I guess technically there's another monthly pivot right here. You got your range high, and then we're still just, looking up towards this monthly key level. This is a higher risk coin, right, because this is a low cap. So just kind of take that for what it's worth. But for ETH, this is the thing too, for me personally, I mean, I feel that the market is gonna, Bitcoin's about to have a pretty big move, just in my opinion, I guess at this point. We don't know which way that's going to be, obviously, but if that is to the upside, there's a lot of altcoin opportunity. And with that being said, I mean, you're talking about majority of alts are down from just the recent high, right? Like 30-40%. I think even ETH is taking a good 22, and so not the worst, but the majority of others are all like 30, 35. ETH is kind of our little leader here, right? So we did actually re-enter the range here for ETH, which isn't the best. Obviously, we caught that rejection right here at the yearly key level, came back in, and we're holding our support right here at the 2-year key level for the moment. And this is very similar to where we are on Bitcoin's chart as well. It's very interesting to see how the two of them are, usually coincide with each other. We have not rotated the range in full like we did for Bitcoin on ETH, which is interesting. So that's just something to kind of be aware of. But once again, to get this move to the downside here, this would be, implying that Bitcoin is going to take a hit for probably the same amount, 15, 20%. That's to get that down to that range low. You got the point of control at like 11% downside right here. So I don't necessarily know if we're, once again, we could get that. That's definitely if, we start punching past that $37,700 level. But for now, we are holding support. So you do have to kind of, take that for what it's worth as well. If we get out of this range, then, we're looking up. We still have the same targets we've had in play for quite a while, going all the way upwards back to $4,000. From there, we'll reevaluate. And then just want to point out once again, just the majority of altcoins are all looking about the same, right? If they're not at, macro range lows, they're punching down past them. Algo for one, right? Broke out of the range a little bit here. Possible to get, this is a daily time frame. So this is a pretty important way to kind of look at this, because we just saw the same situation on HBAR. We'll take a look at it, but you got this breakout here. I've been closing daily candles below, possible to get a bearish retest right here and then continuation down. This monthly level right here would be the next major area I'd be looking for out of Algo, unless we get back in this range, right? And that's another 30% drop. So that wouldn't just come out of nowhere. That would also, you got to take everything into context with what Bitcoin's doing. So that would imply that Bitcoin's going to take a 15% hit, which that would imply that ETH is going to drop down that, I heard HBAR is a new XRP. Yeah. Just something to kind of be aware of there, right? So for Algo specifically, right, we really want to see a daily close back inside this range, which is just ahead of where we are right now, but we are at resistance at the moment. So do consider that, right? Possible support resistance flip. So this could be an SR flip right here and continuation to the downside. And that's the one of the things I'm looking at ETH is that's the only thing I don't love is that ETH is like still kind of at the range high almost. So if it loses, its support, it's got some moves below us. Looking at something like Cardano though, perfect, just range rotation. Ran it to the range high, right at range low right now. 72 cents would really be that next level below us that I'd be looking for if we do get another drawdown. Once again, that would be insinuating that, the whole market's kind of getting it. But for now, you are at support, major support here. And essentially, you have a pretty clear invalidation point to put a stop loss. And this is not to say you have to do leverage only, right? These is great spot trade opportunity. You got a 16% move up to the quarterly key level up here. Monthly open and your point of control are double stacked for a 26% gain. And you got your range high about 50%. Yearly open, yearly key level, 85% move. That would be under the assumption that Bitcoin and everything does continue higher though. But we see this time and time again where the altcoins come down to massive support. We're always gonna have to look at Bitcoin and kind of have that game plan in place where it's like, okay, we do have to anticipate if it goes lower. But Bitcoin at the same time right now is like, it's at support, right? We re-entered the range. We're not closing dailies below it. We're not closing dailies below our or that weekly level we were looking at. So at the time, it's possible to still continue on upward from here. So obviously we've got some levels to reclaim here for Bitcoin, which is going to transcribe into the altcoins. And then also you can get one of these big boys come out of nowhere, and that changes things immediately, right? So you want to be able to be putting on risk at these times while things are slow, things are quiet. Everybody's walking away from crypto or panicking or starting to sell, thinking we're going down to 13K. People are maybe selling their Cardano, for example, just, because it's under $1 and it's going back to whatever, blah, blah, blah. When this is, ideally an area you could be DCAing into for a run up here.
People lose their minds, don't they, when like these coins lose support at levels where normally pick it up when they talk about the moon.
What's
people
that?
People seem to always sell in positions where the gray buy areas.
Oh, always, man. Well, that's because of like look at the even right now somebody's talking about we'll look at HBAR real quick for a good example, but it's just the environment around you. It's just so scary, right? And then like right now you look around, even us. I mean, we're talking about Bitcoin drawing down to lower levels because you have to be aware of it. But, is that for certain? Is it for sure dropping to 23, 25, 30, 31? Nobody knows, right? You just got to have that plan in place. You got to plan your reaction. But most people, the emotion of it is when you get to these levels and you've already lost X amount. You didn't de-risk at a higher level at all or whatever. and most people are buying into these spots, especially when like looking at something like this too. When you're not looking at this as a range, I guarantee you, right? Because coming from the old pattern situation, this would have been a perfect, Adam and Eve double bottom with a neckline right here. And, realistically, you'd want to see this neckline broken and retested anyways. And if you're looking at that regardless, then you'd be breaking out of the range high and you'd be in a good spot anyways with, stop loss right below. But we don't get that. And what people do is that they front run the patterns. So they'll start buying them up here at the high. And, when you don't have these ranges, to kind of overlay to kind of double up your confluence here, it can be pretty rough. And then then we get these. So anyways, H bar, go ahead.
That's the thing. Market makers draw these patterns because a lot of people don't trade ranges and stuff like what we all see. Everyone first when they learn to trade. Well, Magic is proof when he says, he wanted to trade patterns because it's cool. They draw stuff like this on the chart to draw people in. Because I imagine everyone thought, front run that, long it, they're going to be in a great trade. Right at the top there, you're getting all them wicks and all that.
Right. That's kind of, I used to be one of these people, right? So, many people do not know how to identify these ranges. And that's why I actually loved overlaying the patterns on our levels because a lot of times they give you a little confluence. So, for what it would be worth if you were looking at this and you weren't in H bar at the time, you'd really want to see that confirmation when you break over this range high. Otherwise, you can't be buying at the range high, right? And that's the thing. But if you're not looking at that, this is what it looks like to anybody else at the time, right? And take off all this stuff, obviously. But, this looks like a perfect double bottom, man. I'm about to get in. I got the measured move coming here. This is going to go straight up to 33 cents. This is going to be, a nice, easy, I pulled it too far, but, it's going to be a nice, easy 25 cents. No invalidation points at all. No stop loss, more than likely, especially if it's on the spot. I feel like most people don't put stop losses on spot trades. And what's that?
No, they
Probably
don't.
not.
Yeah, and that's what gets everybody jacked. And like with the same thing, like if you don't have most people wouldn't even have an idea of where to put. If you're up here, what are you going to put your stop loss at? The low? Like, I mean, that would, I don't know. It's just in general, like that's like you just said, if the market maker's drawing these out, that's perfect. I mean, because that I guarantee you trap so many people in here, and this is the thing too now is that all these altcoins are now on Bybit and on not just Bybit but on KuCoin too. I mean, everything has a leverage option, and everybody does try to go crazy on these altcoins. And even in our group, I mean, we trade a lot of alts, but if you're on the wrong side of that, 2-3% comes really quickly on an altcoin, right? So even like this right here is a 2% move just on the wicks here down. You got 4% up and you've gone nowhere. These 4 daily candles right here would have wicked out pretty much almost anybody on 10x leverage or more if you have a stop loss in place. But
sorry, that's not funny, but it is because let's be real, a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they don't, and that's what's pretty nutty, right? So, and that's why, I really try to hammer home the idea that Bitcoin and ETH, I think, are better. We can all agree that those are better if you're going to leverage trade because the liquidity is there. You still risk the big moves coming against you or whatever, and if you're going to use a stop loss, X amount still comes, but you don't get a 5%, 10%, just kind of whipsaw out of Bitcoin on the usual, maybe 1 or 2% here or there. But these altcoins are tough because even if they come into some of these, like this one specifically, we were dancing around this range low. So anybody that tried to leverage trade this altcoin for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 10, 12 days, I guarantee you just got stopped out. And you probably even had some really good gains along the way that you gave up and it turned into a losing trade right here, right? So, I mean, these are...
It looks like you got a swing failure pattern at the bottom and it just went nowhere.
Right.
That one there.
Yep. And, but yeah. Regardless, I really do think that, I'm feeling that a big move's coming. Obviously, we don't know which way, but like I said, if it is to the upside, just for spot-wise, all these altcoins are in really good positions. And something like this one right here, ACE, which was a smaller cap kind of deal. But you can just see how, once again, looking at this I posted this when it was at this portion right here. So obviously, you'd be buying this at a range high. You wouldn't want to necessarily do that. But when you break about this on daily time frame as well, so you would have had some time in here. But this was our next target, was the next range above it, basically. Very small cap coin. So like I said, this is not something that, you want to be throwing your whole portfolio in. But you had this little inverse head and shoulders right here, same deal, and then a perfect run up to the range low as rejection. And just on spot, right? Not even I don't even know if you could leverage trade this, but just on spot from the range high, clear value, and this is something that, you don't have to, without leverage, you can put a couple percentages here and not get totally wrecked. You could put a 5% stop loss or whatever if you wanted to. But that's a 55% move that probably nobody saw coming. Nobody's talking about. Could you imagine if a 54% move occurred in XRP, HBAR, anything like APE even today? Like, that these are some big moves, and like things like this will be popping off everywhere if we get this move out of Bitcoin from where all these altcoins are. These altcoins are all beat up. However, if we start breaking down lower, of course, that's going to be the opposite situation here, but for now we are at support, so it is what you got to realize. Solana, I've been waiting on Solana to come down to this point of control. we're getting really close. Got this daily level right here. So Solana, similar. This chart looks pretty busy, so sorry about that. But ran it up, right? Yearly key level is our major target. Got that rejection. Essentially, we flew back in here, came back into the range high, got rejected. So essentially, you would have to anticipate we're going to rotate this range or at least run it back to the point of control, which is at 90. At this point, you're talking about not something terrible, I guess, another 7% move. So, imagine that Bitcoin maybe pulls back a little bit or maybe nothing, maybe we just get another 7% out of Solana here. But that would be an area that I'd be looking for. Once again, this is kind of diddling in the middle, so to speak. So, definitely not an area where you want to be trying to leverage trade these out. And as far as upside potential or continuation, you really want to see us get back outside this range at 104, and then we'll start looking back up again. And pretty much every altcoin is in the same, a lot of these, some of them are kind of in the middle here, but a lot of them are, dumping out of their ranges at the lows. You got things like Rose even that just got listed on Coinbase, and look at that, back to the range low. So it's really, the market is just really, really flatlining right now, which has always been decent opportunities, right? So once again, Rose, I actually am probably going to update this in the group tonight, but I posted this one along this range low for the last few days anyways. We are losing this range on a daily basis, though, it looks like. So something to kind of consider here. So as far as anybody looking at, enter Rose, you really want to see that reclaim coming in right about 21.7. So, we're close to it. We, could kind of do that today. But regardless, on spot, if you're not really messing around with leverage, it's not as big of a risk here. But if you get back in this range, and even on spot, we run it up to that range high, it's 80%, right? Point of control, 42. Got a golden pocket from the entire way up. Your yearly open. That's a really big opportunity. And that's assuming, the market would be all in a roar at this point. So this is something to think about, something that could take a few weeks to occur. But those are some pretty big, possible moves coming in play. Majority of the charts look the same. It could here. Everything is at important support. Last run, I sold half my Cardano, reinvested elsewhere. Large Cardano run is coming. They've got some great projects, but it's tired of watching my money sit there. Put it back to work. Yeah, no, and that's why, like I said, I don't really have too much because just everything is pretty much at at the low. You got sentiment is at the low. You've got just these are the times when you want to be putting on risk, and then just vice versa. As far as all the times when everything's getting really hyped and people are really getting overly excited and whatever, you can de-risk a little bit around those portions. But this is I think this is one of those times.
I'll take this one from David real quick here. The astronomical future numbers of XRP, I put zero stock in that, to be honest with you. That is not to be condescending or rude. That is all pure speculation and pure hopium. It makes no sense. They really got to jump through holes and, go borderline, Alex Jones conspiracy theory to make that stuff work. And so for me, I would just trade the chart. I actually have videos out on XRP from July. I've started clipping some of them now that I've kind of gotten back into content creation and learned a little more about how I can actually merge videos. I have videos that told you guys in July when it was trading at 50 cents that it would run to $1.35 and then come all the way back down. And it went to $1.41. Even gave you guys the days. And so it is one of those things where that coin traded so technically this entire year since last July. It can absolutely, if you look at the structure of that coin on a weekly, if you want to go to a weekly chart on XRP real quick, CVO, and just put it in log scale and hit auto, you can see a very clear descending triangle. And I'm not a pattern trader, but sometimes when you get a pattern that has taken 6 months to appear on a chart, right? It's got some weight to it. Look at the lower highs, look at your flat bottom of support. It's not a pretty picture, It's not the picture of health and fitness. Now, do these have to break down? Absolutely not. If it does break back above about 88 cents, things start to look pretty good. That is when you're going to know. But you lose about 57.7 cents, I think, is what I had on there, and you've got some pretty big problems. That thing's probably coming down to 47, then 29 cents, and maybe even all the way back down to its macro range low at 19 cents. And that is not out of the question. We cover in that video how this is a macro accumulation range, and it looks eerily similar to when Bitcoin topped at 20K. Like you'd have to go to Bitstamp to see that, but it looks so similar to the 20K top on Bitcoin, where it came all the way down to 3K, back to 14K, then back to 3K. Definitely in the cards, and that's what's called a terminal shakeout and Wyckoff and accumulation. Yeah, exactly, rivalry. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know that it's going to play out that way, but at the same time, like you have to be prepared for that scenario when you look at a range that size, because this thing is in a macro range. You can't trade it any other way. When it does expand, like let's say XRP one day breaks that range and it's not, going to zero, then are you going to be looking at like astronomical 589 targets? No. I think that realistically you're somewhere under $10. That's the best case scenario for me from a technical perspective. If I'm wrong, I hope I am. And anyone holding that coin becomes over whatever they're saying on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter, overnight millionaires or whatever they're calling it. Anyone that says something like you're going to become overnight millionaires, you really got to like. It sounds a little sketchy, It's and I actually got in the space on XRP. It was my first purchase. I bought in at 3 cents back in like 2017. So that is one of those things where XRP got me in the space. Like a lot of people, that was the coin that got a lot of people into cryptocurrency back in the day, because Bitcoin had already ran to like, I want to say it was already at like $10,000 when I was hopping in the market. I did take a position on XRP at 62.5 cents at one point, and then I just slowly sold out of the spot position. I don't really use leverage with some of these coins. I also leverage traded XLM at the same time for like 50% gains. So just not, it's nothing personal to the coin. It's just the chart, man. Like the chart's not. If the chart was good, if this coin does break 88 cents, which is, I think I gave 86 cents back in July, that was the important level, and you're splitting hairs over 2 pennies there. But if it does break above and hold that, I mean, $1.09 is kind of the next level you have to be eyeballing, and if it gets above $1.09, I would really lean towards a retest of that $1.33-ish, $1.35-ish resistance, but I'm really looking up to an NPOC of 157. And I think if you get that high, there's obviously the whole market's going to be looking much different. Bitcoin's probably bouncing from here and it's not tanking, things like that. Yeah, HBAR over XRP. I don't know, man. I don't debate the fundamentals of these coins. Anyone that knows me, I don't care about fundamentals at all, and it drives people insane. But I trade the charts, and whenever I tell people what my portfolio consists of, what I'm adding, they're always like, "Those are the best coins." I'm like, "They have the best charts. They have the best long-term charts." Rarely am I first to them. Like the only one that I got in on that was like sub $2 was Link on the COVID dip because I had someone tell me to. And otherwise, like Polkadot, I was late to that one. I think I got in at like $6. I guess I should say it wasn't really late, but yeah, it is one of those things where the charts usually will tell you. That's why the charts represent strong fundamentals, in my opinion. If you are dabbling in something that's as new as something like ApeCoin, yeah, you can chart it and trade it, but like there's really no way to know long term what it's going to do. It's a gamble at that point, and you are having to look more at fundamentals, and that's when that does play a role. But when I was making those videos on XRP and telling them, I was like, it's really not going anywhere. In fact, it's probably going up to here and then back down. People were like, you don't know anything about fundamentals. And I just told them, I was like, the fundamentals don't matter in this case. Like, you guys are really misrepresenting what fundamentals are for and the use of them. And I'm telling you what the charts are showing, and that is buyer and seller interactions. And that is what really matters in this market. Because if you're trying to make money, that's one thing. If you're just trying to invest and hold, then yeah, buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and, dollar cost average every week, get a terrible average over time. And wait the next 4 years so that you can be in profit, because that's what you're going to have to do. That's it. And so, yeah, HBAR equals white collar hex. Oh man, we got like a little shitcoin battle going on in the commentary here, but I didn't mean to like hijack your little, your stream here on the section of the stream. CV, I just wanted to address that because the XRP community is super passionate. I do sometimes think that it's the most toxic community in the crypto space. But at the same time, it's just because I think they get as much shit as they give. So it is a two-way street. They do get shit on a lot. And, to their credit, they're super, super into that project. I just wish a few more of them were, open to the idea that, hey, TA really does affect this price.
Yeah, okay. For sure. Yeah, that's about all I got, honestly. I'm not culty at all. I'm only loyal.
Hey, that's all right, man. I mean, at least you're in like a large cap and you're not in like, fucking whatever tiny cap is out there right now. There's literally thousands of them. So you could pick much worse things to be considering or discussing, like there are just the amount of shit coins out there that are probably going to zero in the next 4 years is, there's 19, how many altcoins are there now? Like, is it 1900 or 19,000? I don't remember what it was. But
yeah, it's got to be like 20,000.
90% of those, man, 90%. And that's conservative in my opinion, straight to zero, so, don't pass go, any of that. It's going to be bad. And the people that are, and we were talking about this earlier, no stop loss. They're just holding the coin in spot so they can never be liquidated, but you can be a bag holder forever. It'd be like holding JC Penney stock right now. You can hold it. I mean, you can't sell it anywhere. It's not worth anything, but it's technically yours still. Well, maybe it'll make a comeback, but I doubt it. It sucks, but it is what it is. Those people are the ones that are going to get left out. The people, and there are other creators out there that are like, you got to buy the altcoins, but like they are, some of them are pretty smart and they're more selective on what they're buying. But like, when it comes down to like some of these altcoins that are even in the top 100, I'm just like, this thing might not be here. Like, I remember what the crypto space was like in 2017, and so do you, CBO. You could just literally buy anything back then and just like immediately, like, you 10x your money minimum. Didn't matter what it was, as long as that thing had a pulse and you could buy it on an exchange, you made money. Like, if you didn't make money in that run up, it was like, the altcoin season that came after the Bitcoin top was insane. But where are a lot of those coins now? Bitcoin Cash, BSV, all those things. Like, those things are Litecoin, even like fucking beat down, man. Litecoin's actually doing really well compared to the other ones. It's like you look at some of the things that were around at that time, and then look at them now, and it's, EOS and NEO, like how many people bag hold. I still get people asking me to chart those because they've been bag holding since the last bull run, and then when it did finally pop off out of its range to come all the way back down, they didn't sell. So Verge, that's a good one. Yeah, Verge was a good one. They were like taking payments for was it them that was working with, there was initially a coin that was taking, it might have been Redcoin for Reddit, and then there was another one that was trying to target like Pornhub to get into like that adult industry, and that's a huge industry, so more power to them. But they were trying to get payments done on that platform, and I don't think it went anywhere. But yeah, TRX is another good example, and that's from Binance. Like fucking CZ, man, like that dude's insanely rich, wealthy, huge prominent figure. He's not going anywhere. And what's he do? He comes out with a different coin instead, something like BNB. So yeah, XVG was, yeah. So yeah, you just got to be careful what you're bag holding. Potcoin, yeah, there's a lot of hype that goes into these, and then I wouldn't say some of them don't even rug. They just trend down to zero over time. They just get forgotten about because they're not actually doing anything. And there's always going to be another new shit coin to cover, and there's going to be more hype around it. It is what it is. That's why, kind of like you were saying, like when people ask me like, what's your biggest holding? I'm like, it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Polkadot. I do own some CRO, and that one's probably the most speculative one that I'll get into because, like, it's.
Don't forget your XRP bag.
I had an XRP bag. I sold out at the 75.8 cent mark here. I let everyone know, hey, if we don't get above the yearly open on that thing, I'm really not interested in it.
It's not a true believer, mate.
I am not a true believer. I got commitment issues, clearly. But yeah, that's when it comes to altcoins, like, you got to be careful, because if you get into this whole like, well, I got to get rich, so I got to buy altcoins and hold them because those are going to make me rich. Someone said it best the other day. I don't know what I was watching, whether it was TikTok or YouTube. I don't watch a lot of it, but somebody did bring up the fact that all the rich people are holding Bitcoin. The mega wealthy buy Bitcoin. How the fuck do you think they got so rich, man? They wasn't buying into highly speculative positions and then hoping that they moon and getting lucky. They did that because they took consistent gains over time in safer investments. Even though it's not as sexy, the Bitcoin's just a far better investment than a lot of these altcoins. There are going to be some altcoins that are going to win, of course. But like until they really start proving themselves, like a Polkadot or like a Chainlink, Ethereum, things like that, like I just don't really bag hold them. I will pick some out and I'll start adding to those bags over time and holding some, but like I don't own a single H bar. I'd be upfront with you, and that's nothing personal to the coin. I don't know enough about it, and it's fairly new for me. I just haven't taken the dip on it. If it gets down underneath like 16 cents down into like a buy zone that I had put out, then yeah, I'm gonna do it. Polkadot's a big one. As soon as I popped into your group, CVO, I blasted the 5 coins I was buying. Those charts were mapped out for weeks, and Polkadot was one of them. Big one. I was like, I'm DCAing all the way down to $12 on that. Anything from $16 to $12 is where I'm interested at, and it's just been great. Crow was the same way. Got exactly what I wanted out of Crow. I did sell a lot of that Crow that I bought, though. I traded that a lot more. Yeah, I do trade the chop on like Bitcoin. I've traded a couple altcoins here and there, but more so just trading the Bitcoin. And the chop has been really easy the last few days. The levels that we have just been wonderful. It's been respecting the ranges really, really well. So it's been pretty easy to trade if you were patient. I did have a massive target for VeChain Rivalry. I'll show you that one. I had to be super patient on that one. And it did dip into that box just barely. But that box has got a lot of room to the downside. So if we do start seeing that, then I think VeChain will fill that out down to like 3 cents, kind of like you're targeting there. Yeah, VeChain was one that I made public videos on that one. I said it would go to 18 cents. And if it gets over 18 cents, you could see 24. It went to 18 cents and just got massacred. But the video was made at 6 cents. So the idea was you were taking profits along the way. And then as soon as it lost, I think it was 11.99, you had to get out. And you're still up 100% on whatever is left in your investment at that point. But you had to get out because it was a range reentry and you knew you were going to cycle it. And the bottom of the range was where 6.8 cents. So you have to be looking at that going, this thing's probably going to run it all the way back to my entry. Why would I hold it? But even today, when I made those videos and I tell people this exact way to trade it. Like, and that's literally as close to financial advice as you're ever going to get. People still don't listen. They don't do it. They don't set alerts. They just buy it and hope that it's going to work out. It just doesn't. That's what's crazy to me in this market. And that's not throwing shade at any of you guys. It's just that's the average person. That's how they're trading this market, and it's not something to really mess around with your money in crypto, man. It's not it's not very forgiving. The cryptocurrency market can turn you on your head really quick. You can go from really poor to really rich, or really rich to really poor very quickly. That's just it's the nature of it, when you're this low market cap still.
Or full cycle.
Yeah, you really can. That's an interesting one. We're watching, me and you joke about it all the time. We send it in the DMs. I won't name any names, but he's got some creators that he follows that like they fully cycle that all the time, where they're like, I'm the shit, I'm the number one guy, to like, I don't even know what's going on, and they're just open about it. And like they're literally like signals. It's like watching someone tell you when to buy and sell and what not to do. It's quite funny to watch, actually. So this whole like chop area, you guys should really be looking forward to this, because this whole chop and this whole downtrend, since we've started making content here and since December, has been one of those things where you're really going to figure out who knows what they're doing and who doesn't. And, you're going to see a lot of creators start to drop off, which is a good thing. There's as many creators as there are shit coins anymore. So, might as well enjoy it. That way you guys can weed out the bad ones and start following the good ones, which is obviously leading crypto, all three of us, myself, Max, and CVO. So make sure you're following us. But I think it's just our group in here anyway, but I'll just say it.
Awesome. Yeah. And yeah, that's about all I got. I mean, we're just waiting to see how this unfolds here. Tomorrow is, I went on Debate Crypto earlier, and I don't know how, usually I kind of lean on those guys to hit, like we do the TA Thursday deal. And, sometimes usually they hit me with the news, and then it's almost like the debate of like fundamentals versus like technicals, which not really a big debate, but just in general, how it's just like, you can have whatever, and they're looking at this price action and not understanding why and whatever. And then I'm really shocked that tomorrow nobody has really mentioned, at least, or I haven't heard of it too much. Max and I were talking about it earlier about like how in a couple hours here options expire, I think in like 4 or 5 hours for the last Friday of the month kind of deal. And which is usually like talk of the town, right? Whether that means anything or not, it's just interesting that nobody brings that up until a time like tomorrow. I think is like 41K is a big number, whatever the case may be. So if we go to 41K tomorrow, nobody's talking about options and all that this month. But then if we do hit that this month, aka tomorrow, you pop up to 41, 42, whatever it may be. You bet your
golden pockets there at 41.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's like next month, then that's going to be a huge ordeal. It's like, it's like that I consistently, man, I've seen the options and the end of the quarter thing go back and forth, but it's clockwork. It's 1 quarter or 1 month, and nobody talks about it, nobody discusses it, and then just so happens that that's around where the price action ends up getting to on that day, because like Fridays are generally pretty slow. So if we get a pop up to 41 tomorrow, which that's what, $1,700 from where we are now. I mean, that's not bad, obviously.
Yeah, that'd be quite the pop up. It's rejecting off of a really high time frame area right now. Bitcoin does need to hang on to that 39K-ish level. Obviously, right. I would just say 38.5 would be the most important level. Still gives you a little breathing room, but it is one of those things where I'm treating all these trades as like, I wouldn't say day trades, but like if I'm buying 38, 37.7, I'm taking profits at like 39.722, 40.3K. I'm keeping it simple. If we start breaking out of those levels, I trade inverse. So as soon as I'm out of my leverage position, I'm back into Bitcoin. Yeah. And I'm either looking for, I'm looking for 1 to, 3X positions for shorts up at this region to hedge, or I'll just chill in spot and wait. And if we claim the level, then, I might put like a little bit of leverage on it and use it as an invalidation to the next level. But until this thing picks a direction, man, it's just chop, and I don't put any stock in like are you talking about the Max Payne, the options price? Like we talked about this back in the day. There was one that was coming in and I just laughed at it.
Yeah, well, but that's what I'm saying though. Like I'm not taking that in the sense of like that's something to like put any stock into, but it's comical that nobody's talking about that this month. But I guarantee you, if for some odd reason we get a push tomorrow to 41,000, which, like you said, is just the old, is also a golden pocket, whatever. That would be the news.
Magic. Look at yesterday's pitchfork. Jesus,
I
it's just caught the
haven't-
exact low.
Oh, did it? Nice. I haven't.
Let me
I haven't.
hide.
Oh no, I got it right here. I got it. Yeah, I just
It's
pulled it
just
up.
caught the exact low.
It's a thing of beauty, isn't it? That thing's gonna. This one will run for like a day or two probably, but it'll. Whatever kind of volatility we get here in the near future will probably run it out. It's pretty nice though.
Are you guys going to share with the class or what?
Do you want me to share with the class?
I've got it up here. So this is yesterday's fork, and it's just caught the literally to the dollar.
Dude, that's randomly placed.
No, I got the one
It's not
from.
how you use pitchforks.
You're using that one here. Let me show you the one that I've been.
Yeah,
working
mate. I'm literally on about like yesterday's fork.
Is that a
I
Gant
got you.
fan?
Yeah, hey guys, again here. I watch this. This is the one that I'm working off of right now. This is the one from the video where I had posted it in the group here. It seems like it's random, but it's just not. But it caught the exact low as well. So you had dueling forks there for whatever it's worth. But yeah, this is the only way to do forks in these types of tools. I'm just letting people know that if you've been doing them all wrong your whole life. I'm just not all wrong, but these are just better for you're just trading the trend is all you're doing with this. This is just projecting a trend within a certain type window, like time period, and it works really, really well. It's just a channel.
I'm sharing my screen. CVO share Magics.
This is the one from the video. This is an older one that I'm still operating off of because we just haven't changed trajectory yet. But this is the one from that video. Let me get rid of the WAP. But yeah, it's a thing of beauty, man. It's the exact low as well.
It's mad.
Randomly placed, man.
There we go. They are randomly placed. That's what people keep saying. It's like, that's randomly placed. I'm like, it's really not, though.
It's not how you pull a fork, mate.
But, I mean, if you don't like money, dude, you don't have to trade it, But yeah, it is one of those things where I think this one's probably about to be done for, long. It's not long for this world, But yeah, that series will be out on how to do that. I'll document it. I'm just collecting a few statistics, but also I want to make sure that, you don't want to just give someone this and then just expect them to know how to use it. That's the thing is like, it is given how it's made, you have to like understand the concept behind it. So this one's probably going to be done for. I think that this one's probably going to break down. You would have to turn yours to inside, I think.
I've just realized I'm pulling them wrong. I'm doing it from, I'm pulling them wrong to how we normally would do it.
That's all right, man. We'll mess with it later. We'll go over it, but
it still caught the bottom.
Yeah, it still caught the bottom. Yeah.
I remember when we first started discussing it, there was two ways to do it.
Yeah.
And I called it the old way.
Yeah. We were on about that back in like last year.
I won't say it.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You get chastised, I'd whip you here. We'll have to delete this stream never happened. I just get into restream and it just disappear tomorrow. Yeah, it's Bitcoin. Yep, not ideal if you're long anyway. But you shouldn't have been long. Like the area you came into, you can't long up there. But I guarantee someone did. Is what it is. I say that a lot in trading because that's all trading is. Yeah,
is what it is.
I did all the time. That's 100%. That's literally all you can say is what it is, man. It's a zero sum game. You're either taking money out of the market or the market is taking money from you and giving it to someone else. That's how you have to look at it. So it is what it is, man. And you invest in yourself. If you're playing with shit tools and you're playing a game with like fucking Ichimoku clouds and stuff, then yeah, you're probably going to get wrecked. Over time, it's not going to go well. Those aren't things that you're going to be able to trade off of consistently over years. Like I get people in my comments all the time, like, no professional trader trade with Ichimoku, or they trade with Ichimoku clouds. I'm like, I have never met one that does. Never. Not in my entire life. And I've met probably, I don't know, I wouldn't say hundreds, but I've probably met close to, 50 to 60 actual people that trade for a living and take money out of the market. And none of them use tools like that. Not a single one.
About, mate, it's how we all made our millions.
Yeah, Ichimoku clouds. Yep. There's just there's some tools that work better than others, and they're consistent. They're built off of data that's going to be relevant for the time coming. But that's why I just put such a heavy emphasis on volume. It's just it's the only thing that matters, man. Buying and selling. It's the only thing that matters. News doesn't matter.
That's right.
That's it.
That's what I learned.
Yeah. But that's all I got, man. Otherwise, I'll. Oh, Newt. You know what? I think he did have an Ichi strategy. He was like a 15-minute scalper guy. I never got into it. People would always ask me if I knew anything about the Ichi, and I was like, no, man. Like, that's literally not a thing.
That's not
a whole template around it. He did have
one. Yeah, and that panned out really well for that group. So, if that group's still alive,
I'm just seeing. I should have zoomed back earlier. There was some longs that entered just above the daily open. So as we lost that, we also put them underwater over here. So these shorts maybe weren't. They were somewhat silly long shorting into the support of the daily open, but
I was looking just for that golden pocket and that NPOC that we filled, and it went through the NPOC quite a ways actually. Where's the daily pivot at today?
We've already hit it.
Yeah, we were hanging out on it for a second there, and then down she goes. Yeah, that's is what it. Yeah, that's too bad.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Blended on that.
Yeah, as always.
All right, everybody. Have a nice night, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And until next time, if you're all interested, anyone interested in joining our Discord server, Leading Crypto, the link is in the description here on YouTube. You do have access to all of our altcoin setups, Bitcoin analysis, order flow, open interest, the slew of things. So if you're interested, just give that a check. Otherwise, we'll see you all next Thursday night for the group public update like we just did here tonight. And then, otherwise, I'll see you otherwise in the morning. And if I say otherwise one more time, somebody yell at me. Bye.